taken by us. And very recently, we have also given out the preliminary data, which was also shown by Eco on 5.02 TV. And it is the regular prediction that even though there is a much earlier prediction from our group, that was not shown at quad matter, only the update by class scale was the okay. So another recently I was asking Jorgen, but he somehow could not confirm. But I did see some indications that diphoton measurements are also being attempted at LSC. And we have written this paper, diphoton predictions, that will have pi plus pi minus going to gamma gamma, and k plus k minus going to gamma gamma, and q bar going to gamma gamma. And then at LSC, will have that kind of production, and you will have that kind of production. And from what matter you will have, or organic matter you will have. So you will see diphoton pairs, those can be measured, that will be very interesting. We had also written together papers on very soft photons and soft electrons. I was very happy to see them, and it was work that the LHC, the Alice upgradation will be measuring very low mass dielectrons and also very, very low PT photons. And that will be interesting to see. Those are from pi going to pi gamma. And well, these were preliminary calculations. These can be done in a better way now. But those were from 10 years ago. How many years ago? More than 10 years ago. That's a very fun paper we wrote on, of which we were enjoying whatever we are doing that. This was all that else. That we enjoyed every calculation. We were thoroughly enjoying it. And this was a fun paper. What we did was, think of some, we realized very early that sulfur and gold and for lead and lead, for both of them, dn dy by pi r square is very close, about 5 per square. So we first did photon production for lead and lead, sulfur and gold, and we divided it into. So we got the ratio of photon production as a function of PT for lead and lead, and divided by sulfur and gold. So of course, sulfur and gold will be 1, and this one gives a very well-built set here. And then we conjured with the help of Vasis. We found out number of systems for the dn dy by pi r square, then again we around 5. We said if you do photon measurements, this is what you will get. Now this is very interesting for one reason. At SPS energies, there's always a discussion that do you have hydrodynamics or not? Do you have transverse expansion or not? This measurement can also be done for exactly the same calculation. And if you get something like this, that will establish that we are having a transverse flow. And so similar calculation could be done also for dielectrons. Just establish that there is transverse flow. then somewhere we uh, came here. Again, sorry, we have lost him. But he says, oh, why don't you calculate these photons? These are photons coming out from argon plasma. What tries to escape the argon plasma at the surface? Chromoelectric flux tube is found. So either the escaping part, this flux, the tube breaks up in a QQ bar pair. So QQ bar pair goes out and the part comes back. Or it is pulled back into the plasma. And because of this process, you have a radiation of. So these are on papers we did, and we can get quite some amount of radiation. But of course, he had told us that he will have a huge amount of radiation. We found much less. But okay, so the results were interesting for our. There was a tongue-in-cheek paper, Landau hydrodynamics, had been explaining PP, PA, and AA kind of DLPI. So we examined the derivation very closely. And we found that it assumes that speed of sound is much less than 1. If you assume that, you get this. If you use in the final result for DNDY, which Landau hydrodynamics gives, if you use the actual speed of sound as 1 by 3, you get. So we concluded that if the evolution was dominated by mixed phase at higher energy or hadronic matter with heavier particles at lower energy, then you will have CS square much less than 1. You will get this. This I thought was a very amusing paper for us. And this was one paper on which we thoroughly enjoyed. One work will be thoroughly enjoyed. At that time, we would ask, you would hear, oh, we are using hydrodynamics of Landau, or we are using pure hydrodynamics. And we would ask, what is the difference between the two? And we would discuss. And we were not able to figure out, at least I was not able to figure out, what is the difference. So we said, okay, we'll sit down and work it out. So we worked out pure paper, and we worked out Landau's paper. And then by working on Landau's paper, we found that these two equations can actually be transformed to this equation. For omega is E, if I remember, logarithm of temperature, which is telegraphing equation without E. And then from one same equation, we get Bjorken hydrodynamics. For a 1 plus 1 case, we took Pz as Z by T. Landau hydrodynamics by imposing complete stopping. And this paper, I must say, in the annals of physics, gave us a lot more happiness than many other papers. Now, you see, it is not just 2-3 years of us oldies. The next generation was getting ready. And they have been working quite hard. The medium modification of masses and rates with inclusion of baryons, with inclusion of viscosity was studied by Jana Alam, Saurabh Sarkar, and isotropic hydrodynamics was studied by Pradeep Rai. Relativistic hydrodynamics, a complete book, very beautiful book, came out from Ashish Chaudhary. Equilibrating plasma was studied by Mustafa. And then I will come to that, but event by event fluctuations, discovery of elliptic flow, triangular flow, and directed flow of thermal photons, expectations of future colliders using reform nuclei and alpha cluster nuclei, and correlation of azimuthal flow and eccentricity, were done by Rupa Chatterjee and Vikas. These are elliptical flow predictions, which are still, it still remain a puzzle. The event by event fluctuation will give you hot spots, and because of which you have higher initial temperature. The triangular flow again prediction, which is now observed, I understand. The directed flow, for which I understand that there is preliminary data from LIP. So coming back, what Dr. Sinha did was to nurture this little tree in the beginning. It started way back in 1983 as a small tree and created a dynasty. Somebody told me that we heard that he belongs to the royal family. Royal families always create a dynasty. Here also a dynasty of Accelerator comes and will be he himself was. The second generation was Jane Alam, Somnath Chakravarti, Ashish Chaudhary, Mustafa, Roy. The third generation was Rupa Chatterjee, Tejal Singh Nayak. Now there is even the fourth generation, Pingal Das. So dynasty holds, dynasty is surviving, dynasty prospering. But I'm talking only about theory branch of the dynasty. The experimental branch of the dynasty floats across the country. There are more than 100 practitioners of Bhagwan Plasma in the country. And there is a Latin saying, which is Patrami Tata Bors, which means as many branches, that many trees. So each one of these students are creating their own dynasties of working at the field of plasma. You have already heard W98, star collaborator, Alice collaborator, observer state, and then associate member. And now we are also part owners of it. Everything started by one person. I mean, I would be very happy doing just for any one of these. And here is something started by so many, with so many achievements. And the part of the tree, that little sapling, the little seedling, has now become a giant tree, covering vast distance. So, I think I've done how much time I have saved.
No, I think you are in time.
Oh. So thank you, Dr. Sinha, for initiating generations of young researchers on the path of a glorious and satisfying quest. Thank you very much.
Very nice talk. One or two short questions before we move for tea. Sure.
This comment is supposed to be not sarcastic but funny. I hope. Yes, if you like, I created generations of young researchers. They're no longer very young.
So that is the reason I came down to the
All of
fourth
them
generation.
actually died. And some people have deviated from this field. And the person you are concerned with, that is myself, is getting very old. So I think we need a new push to carry on with the torch. Thank you.
Vitality of a dynasty. Unlike what Iranians said, that a dynasty holds only for 3 generations. The first generation starts, second generation coordinates, consolidates, the third generation enjoys, and the fourth generation destroys. That does not hold in academics. In academics, if a good dynasty is initiated, it prospers and prospers and prospers.
Dr. Sinha, as you know very well, a push has to come from within. It cannot be created just like that.
Yeah, in the beginning, there were just one or two people. One Dr. Vikasana, one Shivaji Raha. They were the only two practitioners of Bhagwan Padma in Catholic. At that time, the third practitioner, Dr. died. Well, sorry, I was talking of too many people who passed away, so I left him out.
Sir, one thing I like to have. Sir, photon is a fundamental particle which is coming from the sun rays, basically sun rays consisting of photons. Now, is there any empirical formula for, because you know, these photons when striking a photoelectric cell is converted into electricity in solar energy. Now, is there any empirical formula for calculating the number of photons per square meter or per inches or per, is there any, how many, because you know with the sunlight.
Yeah, I think it is very well known, very well measured. The photons on the surface of the, on top of the atmosphere, you can explicitly calculate how much power is radiated by sun. I think it is of the order of 10 power 38 or some watts. If you divide it by r square, the distance between sun and earth, so on the top of the atmosphere, it is about 1300 watts per square meter. 30% of that is absorbed by the atmosphere. If you measure the sunlight at equator, at noon, it is of the order of 1000 watts per square meter. And that is all, that is the reason people are talking about solar cells all the time. And that will of course save us from this stupid global warming which we have brought upon ourselves, which Professor Bisakar was talking about yesterday. Yeah. It is well known, it can be calculated.
And of course, the photons have a very wide
You see,
frequency range, okay? Very short range to very long range.
The spectrum of the photons radiated by sun and reaching the surface, the top of the atmosphere, corresponds to a black body radiation of about 5000 degree K. 5250, I think, degree K. There is a book written by yours truly on climate change and energy options for a sustainable future. It has many such details, many such interesting things.
Recommended that book to me.
Yes, sir, has recommended the book to me. Thank you, sir.
All your questions are answered.
Hello. Oh, let's thank the speaker again. And now we should slightly cut down on the tea time and come back within 20 minutes, okay?